this event today. On behalf of the Asian Development Bank, let me firstly congratulate all, particularly the government of Tajikistan and the Agency for Land Reclamation and Irrigation and our conveners of the session for raising this very important topic about enhancing operation and maintenance sustainability, water resources, infrastructure in Tajikistan. So today we're gathered here to bring together findings and points on a very important topic, which many of you may be familiar with, but importantly, which cuts across public sector financing and management and sectoral related ambitions and investments. We're very familiar with the vicious cycle of building infrastructure, having insufficient resources and often human resources as well, and latest best practices to operate and maintain that infrastructure, which then falls into a cycle of neglect. And often the best solution is then to leave it neglected and then go in with a major capital investment and rebuild. So this vicious cycle of build, neglect, rebuild is very much observed in, I would say, most of our developing member countries, and particularly in the irrigation sector, where we see that revenue generation is very challenging, particularly from water tariff, which often will only cover operational costs rather than the full capital expenditures. ADB has a long history of working with the government on irrigation modernization and development. And importantly, in 2016, we made our first investment in the Pianj River Basin to increase agricultural production on the Chubek irrigation system. Here, we were keen to support government with agricultural productivity increase, forecasting services, given that the Pianj River Basin is the most flood-prone river basin. So it often faces the impacts of flood-related disasters and, of course, the impacts of that on irrigation infrastructure. We were also supporting the government to introduce river basin management and modernizing irrigation systems. So technical assistance 6708 on operation and maintenance sustainability of water resources infrastructure was approved in December 2020 and is due for closure at the end of April. This technical assistance has been working closely with the government to establish a strong financial management and quality assurance system in ALRI. And today, we're very fortunate that Ms. Nelly Denelia will share lessons from this technical assistance. In 2022, we're very pleased, and Kazu is there as project leader with Ganjina online as well, who have been working very closely to support the Vaksh River Basin project. So we had the approval of the climate and disaster irrigation and drainage modernization in Vaksh River Basin project. And that's the first development partner financed initiative in the Vaksh River Basin, which is quite different from the Pianj River Basin in that it's heavily regulated, but still faces the same challenges of irrigation infrastructure sustainability. And in this case, the project is focused on the irrigation and drainage system, particularly technical assistance, which is looking at designing asset and financial management systems, in addition to training operation and maintenance staff of ALRI over the course of this technical assistance, which will close in 2025. We're very pleased that Mr. Luc Verlest is on the call today to share the idea of GIS-based asset and financial management systems, specifically for the Yvonne system in the Vaksh River Basin. Through these TAs, I believe that ADB is taking pioneering steps to contribute to institutional and financial sustainability, and interestingly, working closely with the Ministry of Finance, given that we can look at this in two ways. Is it an issue of infrastructure, or is it an issue of public sector financial management? And again, here I'd like to take the opportunity to thank other colleagues who have been instrumental in guiding us on public financial management systems including Ms. Oksana, Mr. Akmal, I believe Ms. Asima, and our other consultants who've been working closely with ADB. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'll let the course of the discussions continue. And thank you all for joining and look forward to your productive discussions. Thank you all.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Ms. Chibiki. Appreciated for the emphasizing the importance of this contents and seminar. So let us move to two key presentations today. First, I would like to ask Ms. Danelia to provide her presentation. Ms. Danelia has multi-country experience in processing and implementation of ADB-funded projects and technical assistance. She has been an independent financial consultant since 2018, covering various sectors with knowledge and experience in financial due diligence, fiduciary and governance assessment, financial and tariff modeling, and financial management capacity building. Before moving to individual consulting, she worked for over 8 years for Deloitte Consulting Overseas Products, managing USAID-funded energy and governance programs. Before venturing into consultancy, she held progressive roles in the fields of accounting and finance in private organizations in Georgia. She holds a master's degree in finance from the European School of Management and a bachelor's degree in economics from Tajikistan State University. So, next, Ms. Danelia, floor is yours. You have 20 minutes.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Carlo. Dear guests, hello. Thank you wholeheartedly for taking your time and participating in this event. I'll start my speech with a little story, if you may. Last year, I was in Dushanbe working alongside my Tajik colleagues on a daily basis. The lunchtime was a real feast. Dinner was prepared on the spot. A large, beautifully arranged table was laid out for everyone, about 20 people. We told each other some life stories, shared experiences, discussed our cultures. I felt it was a nice connection and celebration of kind human values. We eat 4-woman national food club from one plate, which was a manifestation of our unity and mutual respect. However, food is not always a matter of enjoyment, leisure, and social gatherings. At times, it represents the sole means of existence and survival. In this reality, the role of efficient financial management systems becomes not just relevant, but essential. Now you might wonder, how does financial management tie into the basic need for food? The answer lies in the sustainable development of agricultural infrastructure like the ones ADB supports in Tajikistan. Through thorough planning, budget predictability, and accountability, stakeholders ensure that resources are allocated efficiently to where they are needed most. Projects powered by high-quality financial information not only aim to provide immediate relief, but also to foster long-term sustainability. Quality asset and financial management practices are not luxuries. They are necessities in ensuring that every investment translates directly into improved agricultural productivity, ultimately leading to better food and security and improved livelihood. Now let me move to PowerPoint presentation where I will discuss in details Hold on, yeah. Thank you so much. Can you hear? Can you look my screen? Yeah, thank you. So, as we said, high quality information profoundly enhances decision makers' ability to decide which directions to take and which investments to make. The Accounts Chamber of the Tajikistan made a very clear recommendation to ALRI improve financial reporting practices. It was very good message set from state audit. how different links of financial management are related to ALRI. Budget predictability. Under this, we assume that Ministry of Finance as a main provider and approver budget, government budget has important role. As a stable revenue stream, we need to know tariff methodologies which enable donors and stakeholders plan ahead revenue streams. Accountability through is manifested by good quality financial reporting and performance reporting. Financial reporting has to be made by ALRI, and we greatly hope that this practice will be soon be in place. Under financial reporting, it is made financial reports prepared and audited by credible audit firms. As regards to performance reporting, it is reporting beyond finance. It is about reporting operational achievements, challenges, plans ahead. And performance reporting usually is audited by state audits, which we assume that will be a new and next step for state audit. Relevant controlling and monitoring mechanism, as we said, this is monitored by 3 levels of layers, which is an internal audit within.
Дима, вот как мы сказали, вот эти 3 уровня финансового управления должны работать, и на 3 уровнях система должна работать, должна проводиться механизм мониторинга, то есть здесь будет финансовый аудит.
Contracted by government. Lessons learned over the 3 years are the following, and under each block here, it is acknowledged that some specific party is staying behind. Implement comprehensive life cycle costs. What is meant under this? It is that, as we all know, it is not enough just to invest in capital expenditure. It needs further thorough life cycle allocation of land debt. Foster active stakeholder engagement and collaboration. Under this, we meant that strong donor coordination plus stakeholders coordination group should be established, which acknowledge collaboratively one big role of improving irrigation sector. Prioritize professional development. It means that we need to have on board professional staffs, well-trained, well-certified, and aligned to modern requirements. Intensify climate management risks through stringent strategies. As you all are well aware, apart from financial reporting, there are new requirements about reporting sustainability risks plus climate risks. So sooner or later, ALRI also would be requested to provide reports beyond financial reports about their risk acknowledgement and sustainability measures. Innovate asset utilization for versatile multi-purpose application. This is a subject where ALRI can be cost-effective and innovative, and Luke, my colleague, will guide you through suggested innovative techniques in ALRI's operations. So minimize water loss. Expedite delivery of essential public services. As we know, delivering water for agriculture sector is very important, and ALRI's major responsibility is to provide public services to the farmers. Enhance public accountability through transparency and responsiveness. Here we assume that this is an ALRI's role to be transparent in its activities and be accountable to public. So, and another transparency is expected from Ministry of Finance through clear budget and midterm budgeting and noting ALRI's expense items in annual budget. Establish precise performance benchmarks. It is that we are expect from our service provider, ALRI, that it has some specific targets which entity wants to achieve. They know where they are today and what are their plans to achieve those targets. So it should be quantifiable, realistic, time-bounded, observable, and achievable. And last, whatever was our observation is that investment plans and their future costs should be integrated very much and very detailed in government budgets and ALRI activities. So the achievement so far was very much noticeable. And what was progress over the last 3 years is that we have increased 2.5 times increase in service fees, irrigation service fees, which was very much requested from ALRI. Another achievement was adoption of cashless payment systems. And let me say that Ministry of Finance had made a huge progress over the last 3 years, what we have been able to observe. And one of those achievements was improve the debt management strategy. And we know that there are other undergoing reforms. So when expected achievements from ALRI is, we very much want to see ALRI as an irrigation entity launches accounting software and issues, let's say not this year, but the next year, first audited financial statement. And by audited, we mean that it should be audited by a credible audit company. And maybe first 2 or 3 years, the audit report and won't be without any qualifications. And most probably there will be some issues with asset valuation, which is my experience with the irrigation companies, but still, first set of audited reports are very much expected. And from Ministry of Finance, what we expect is to see budget codes, let's say in compliance with GMF 2014. And we very much want to see specific budget codes assigned to ALRI, its investments, subsidies, and O&M. So applying effective fiscal discipline, as we said, will help in several occasions to ALRI. First of all, donors like to see how money is spent, and they like to see accountability. ALRI has huge responsibility as a fiduciary, which calls fiduciary duty. It means that government, stakeholders, donors let to ALRI manage these huge assets, which is irrigation assets, which are multi-million assets, and much more is underway. So good ownership of this asset is very much expected from ALRI. And predictability, good standing, and increased transparency helps a lot in that. Mitigation of fiscal risks. Clear fiscal rules will help ALRI in identifying and mitigating fiscal risks in operation. Good fiscal rules help in long-term planning and predictability. And as we said, fiscal rules and discipline will help assure that irrigation infrastructure are well managed and predictable in the future. So what was big targets for the future? There are several directions, and they might not be very distinctively aligned to financial management, but all these targets are interrelated. And as we said, ALRI's major and like utmost goal is to improve the livelihood of farmers. And we expect exceptional financial stewardship. We accept that, but this goals cannot be achieved by just ALRI. Strong community and stakeholder engagement is expected. Expansion of professional expertise is future goals. Strategic investment in growth. Rigorous risk management. As I said, this is upcoming risk that all we know that climate risk will be stronger, it will not be weaker. So we need to be able to quantify risks, to know how much fund is needed and to be able to make buffers. So innovative solutions implementations will may help to alleviate those risks. And resilient infrastructure development will help to meet the future sustainable risk mitigation. And what is very important, there are a lot of disciplines outside ALRI's operating boundaries. And this is supporting agriculture projects by techniques, by fertilizers, by education, by access to markets, by improving roads to get to the markets, by constructing storages, food processing, whatever equipment, resilience to climate change and policy advocacy. And what I want to underline is that we know that Tajikistan has such programs which are helping farmers through concessional loans, helping them buying fertilizers. There are some ADB funded projects which help women farmers improving their farming techniques. We know some donors help with techniques and agriculture techniques. And what is very important, ADB's support to ALRI with Pianj River started a long time ago. The first project I've seen was supporting with Pianj River flood disaster risk alleviation in 2007. And as we know, the history is moving on and ADB support is going on also. And I would love to bring international example how huge agriculture development support might be apart from irrigation companies' boundaries. I listed some projects from Agriculture Development Agency from my country, Georgia. And if you notice below, I on purpose gave a budget and to show the difference that government every year helps irrigation company with about 30 million USD dollar, which is, and we can see that support every year under the specific budget code 3106. You can see it on the top bottom corner of the left. And budget code has its name, which is modernization of irrigation infrastructure. So let me explain you. Behind the 30 million, irrigation company is able just to receive collection from farmers, which is below 2 million USD. So we can see how great support from government is. And what is very important about above and beyond supporting to irrigation sector, there is a much more bigger support to other agriculture programs, which are listed.
Есть еще желание и готовность поддерживать другие направления в сельскохозяйственном секторе. В сектор ирригации достаточно вкладывается средства, и, как я сказала, льготные кредиты могут
government funds this insurance project. And so other supporting projects have, most of them are fully financed by government, but government receives, of course, strong support from donors. And just some portion is financing on leasing and giving concessional loans. So what are main takeaways from this 3-year journey and trip to ALRI? Thank you all so much for being very supportive and cooperative. So big takeaways and steps to moving forward would be to strongly engage stakeholders, and those identify the huge role of each of them. And we may say that ALRI cannot be alone and in isolation. So strong commitment is expected from other stakeholders, such as Ministry of Finance, Ministry of Water Resources, State Audit, Monopoly Agency, and of course, lawmakers, policymakers, plus international donors such as ADB, World Bank, Islamic Bank, and other donors. Farmers have a huge role on this. They give us food, and we need them to prosper and achieve excellence in the future and today also. Katu, thank you so much. And at the end of the presentation, there are some operating information about ALRI, which you can see, those who are not very well aware about that. And thank you so much again. And
Yeah, thank you, Ms. Danilia. So Ms. Danilia provided presentation on public financial management aspects, which covered not only irrigation agency, but more broader government structure. So, and I'm talking now to all, or after two presentations, so including this Ms. Danilia ones, we have a question and answer session. But if there is somebody for burning question, we'd like to listen, so one or two persons. Otherwise, so we'd like to invite the next presenter. So I don't see any raised hand in the Zoom. So yeah, maybe so with permission of all. So then and now, so it gives me pleasure to present Mr. Belarus, who will speak on GIS-based asset and financial management system, AFMS in short, for the Yobon irrigation scheme in Bakshu River Basin. Mr. Belarus is an ICT GIS specialist with more than 25 years of professional experience in the use of GIS, ICT, and remote sensing for ecosystem engineering and asset management. He has confirmed experience in designing irrigation asset management systems in combination with irrigation modernization programs in the Philippines. This is the ADB TA 9971, and Vietnam, another TA, ADB TA 9681, and irrigation asset inventorying in Tajikistan. This was supported by EU in Zarakshan Basin, and Afghanistan, supported by EU again, and in Amudarya Basin through extensive field surveys. So Mr. Belarus designed and developed a fully operational asset management system in Myanmar, again ADBTA 9897, using open source solutions. He has excellent relevant IT skills in database design and development, GIS spatial analysis and web development. Mr. Belarus holds a 2 master's degree in environment and GIS. Another is agricultural sciences in soil engineering. So, Mr. Belarus, the floor is yours. You have again, so also 20 minutes.
Thank you. Good morning or good afternoon, everyone. I will open my PowerPoint. Today I will talk about asset management systems, which we are developing under the guidance of Kazu in Tajikistan, especially in the Vaks Basin, the Yovan irrigation scheme. So this presentation covers two different themes. First, we talk about asset and financial management in general. Then we apply it to the Jovon scheme in the Vaksh River Basin, the project which we are currently developing in Tajikistan. We talk about the technology and the architecture of the system, and then the functional aspects which we are currently developing for that irrigation scheme. Later in the presentation, I will present some new technology which we are planning in the future, which might be implemented in the future in Jovon. But for the time being, we go step by step. And we work in collaboration with other projects to increase the technological system, which we call digital transformation. We will come to that at the end of the presentation. So the focus of this presentation is highlighting adaptive, innovative irrigation infrastructure methodology maintenance technologies, which is called digital transformation, by introducing new business processes, new cultures, and user experiences in managing assets in Tajikistan. Until now, most of the work has been done on paper-based in combination with Excel sheets. And we are now designing a system that we can transfer this to a GIS with related database and financial management system using accounting software packages. And that's what we are presenting now for Jovon in Vaksh Basin. So in general, there are different possibilities to set up an asset management system. Currently, there are 4 technologies available. The first one is using existing software, commercial software or open source. That can be a desktop software, that can be a cloud-based software. There is quite a lot available on the market. The problem is, of course, the cost of these softwares and the maintenance of these software. So we have opted not to go for an off-the-shelf software. The second option is the option which is mostly applied for asset management system. That's a web-based application. A web-based application in combination with a phone, an Android phone app running in a web browser or running on the phone. The problem of these applications is that you need a lot of development efforts and you need more resources than we currently have in Jovon. So we are going to have a mixed system using a web-based application in combination with existing software. The third option is the enterprise resource planning, ERP, that most of you will know. I will come into more detail on that. But we don't think ALRI is currently sufficiently developed to install such a system at enterprise level. Then the fourth option would be desktop software. This is software that are currently used already in the organization, like Excel, accounting software 1C, GIS, ArcGIS or QGIS, and that's what we are proposing and currently developing. It's a combination of 0.2 and 0.4, where we combine a web-based application with desktop software. So we're looking at to develop the system according to the international best practices. And therefore we have a number of ISO standards under 55000. These provide only guidelines how to develop and how to manage an asset management system. We are trying to design the system to support as much as possible of these guidelines under ISO 55000. So here I want to present quickly the 4 different options. Off-the-shelf software is existing software. The most commonly used is Rubicon Water from Australia. The problem is there you have to pay every year a maintenance cost, which is out of the question for the situation in Tajikistan. Then you have a number of open source software, which SAMS4i, which is currently developed with ADB support. We are currently, the software is still under development, but it might be an option in the future. Then you have other specific software, cloud software for asset management. It can be IT management, can be irrigation infrastructure management. And then you have the commercial software from Bentley, from AutoCAD. from Oracle, etc. We have not considered these options mainly because of the costs involved. The second option are the bespoke web applications. Here you have an example of ePaxi in Indonesia and developed under ADB assistance. This is a software which is quite performant. The main issue always with the software is the update of the database, the condition of the assets. So that's why they're still working on improving the data collection related to this kind of solution. The third option I mentioned was the ERP. Can be from IBM, SAP, Oracle, or many others are available. And there you see asset management is an aspect of the whole enterprise operating system. This requires a lot of resources for installing it and for maintaining it. So this is currently not considered. That is then finally the option we have selected for Jovan, a combination of a tabular data web interface together with applications being used in the organization, being Excel, QGIS or ArcGIS, and then 1C for accounting software. When we look at the combination of what we are proposing, you see in the middle you have your database, a GIS database together with an attribute database, which stores all your financial and technical information of the assets. The spatial information is in QGIS and the attributes in the database. The data is coming from different sources, can be the existing asset register, which is currently on paper and which we are currently scanning to enter in the database. We have also irrigation layout maps and field surveys being planned to be carried out after the winter, only for one irrigation scheme in Jovan. Then we have a dashboard. The dashboard will be the management tool for the users. There will be users in Dushanbe, in ALRI, in the headquarters, and there will be users in the WUA, in the field. The interface will be a web browser in combination with Excel. And these applications, the dashboard will export the data to the different analytical application. Can be for financial management and financial reporting, it will be 1C. For maintenance planning and asset inventory, query and reporting, different functionality that we are designing in collaboration with ALRI staff. So the three main functions we are developing for the asset and financial management system in Jovan are the asset inventory. That's the asset register where we collect all the assets. The second main function is the asset lifecycle management. That is what you see here, where we see at the right, at the left, you see the current method. We have no information about the status of the different components in the network. When the asset management tool will be operational, we will have a better view, a better understanding what is the condition of the different assets in the irrigation system, and that would lead to optimized operating maintenance and operation of the system. We have more details on all these technologies in the report, in the documentation that we can provide for the people who are interested. For the financial aspect of the management system, we will provide 5 main functions. So first function is, of course, the financial management of the full life cycle of the assets. That is acquisition of the asset, depreciation, then maintenance and repairs, and up to replacement or disposal. This is the typical financial operation of the system that will go in combination with the accounting software. Then we will the second function is budgeting for operations and maintenance. This is mainly planning for the operation and maintenance of the irrigation system, for the forecasting and allocating funds for the routine maintenance, for the repairs and the operational expenses, and then tracking the actual maintenance cost against the budgets. The third function is a function which is already developed in the past with World Bank's support, is the billing and revenue management. It's a server which is currently hosted at ALRI, and he manages all the water payments by the farmers. We will integrate that system in the asset management system to optimize the billing and to integrate it in the management of the AFMS. And then a typical output is also the financial reporting that is required for the Ministry of Finance. From the assets and the maintenance of the assets, we can generate financial reports such as income statements, balance sheets, and cash flow statements. Of course, the formats need to be defined in collaboration with the client and with the Ministry of Finance. Then the final point will be the integration of the asset management system with the accounting system. That can be 1C, which is proposed, but there is a possibility that we have to go for another accounting software. So that will be decided in the future. But there will be an integration between the
Обмен данными, здесь речь идет об этом, и синхронизации для
accounting software. This is for the Jovan system. Now, if we look into the future, we see that there is a lot going on in big data collection. There is a lot of potential to increase the capabilities of the asset management system. Which is covered under the topic digital transformation. We are currently not looking into implementing these in Jovan, but that might be a next step if the system is operational. The first part is the data collection and analysis. So there is a huge potential to have automatic data collection using the current available technology like aerial imaging, drone technology, and satellite technology. They can provide information about the crop health, soil moisture, and water stress. They can provide high resolution data on the condition of the assets, which needs to be collected now manually, but that can be done with new technology to define the asset conditions, to optimize operation and maintenance, and can be used to identify irrigation efficiencies. Also, you have now sensors connected to the network, to the pumping stations, to the canal level flow regulators and pipelines to provide real-time information, to monitor the system, and mainly to carry out preventive maintenance. Then you have another type of information is information collected on soil moisture from sensors which are positioned in the field. They measure the water content in the soil, and of course they can optimize irrigation requirements if that information is linked to the system. So there is a lot of new technology coming up. There is many more potential data sources that we want to look into the potential to include it in the Jovan irrigation scheme. This data, of course, will be used for data analytics and decision support system to provide actionable insights in irrigation management. The most promising technology, of course, is artificial intelligence, or initially machine learning, where you use all that data. All that data is coming together and is being used to identify anomalies, patterns, predict potential failures of your irrigation assets. And then you will, before the problems occur, you can already optimize your maintenance schedules. Normally, that kind of application is provided by service providers. It's not to be done by the client itself, so that will be an additional cost that must be considered. An option that we will implement or that we plan to implement in Jovon is community-based geographic information systems. So where the community has a responsibility to provide the information that we need for the asset management system. So there will be a number of selected users who can capture and update the crop and farmland data, can capture asset conditions to send that to the database at central level for the planning of the maintenance system. And then another quite advanced is a digital twin, where you make a digital copy of your irrigation scheme. And when you have a digital copy of the full irrigation scheme, including the flow simulation models, the drawings of your projects, the past maintenance data, you can model the whole system as a digital copy and create simulations for future optimization of your irrigation scheme. So to finalize, the challenges we see in Jovon and in similar implementations elsewhere, that there is a technology adoption cost. To implement the system is quite costly for IT, but also for the data collection. So that's why we need some financial assistance initially. An issue that is now getting more and more attention is data security and data privacy. We are collecting a lot of information about water customers. There is a lot of information coming from sensors, and we need to make sure that the data is secure and not open to the public or to third parties. And then an important point, which is sometimes overlooked, is capacity building and training. An asset management system requires quite some IT knowledge, quite some technical skills to update the database, because you have a web-based system as well that needs to be managed properly. As a conclusion, we can say that IT technology is available. The technology is not a limiting factor for the implementation of the asset management system. What we normally see is that the updating of the database and data collection on asset conditions are costly and time consuming. So we need to
учитывать все и обеспечить правильность.
To this data collection, the regular update of the database on the asset conditions need to be managed properly to have a low-cost solution, not requiring yearly surveys, but have a community-based update of the system. And then we will need to have continuous capacity building for the users of the system. What is going on now in Jovon is closely linked with what World Bank is doing under the SWIM project, Strengthening Water and Irrigation Management project, which covers Vaksh and Zarafshan. They're a little bit behind us. They have started in 23 and they go a bit longer, 23 to 27. But they're planning to develop an irrigation management information system, IMIS, which would include several aspects of the asset financial management system. So we're in collaboration with them to have a system that talks to have systems that talk to each other and can share data, and ideally be fully aware of each other. Thank you. That is all for my presentation.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Mr. Belarus. So, Mr. Belarus provided presentation more focusing on operation. So, in reality, and referring to asset and the financial management system to be developed. And I appreciated that you touched upon the further future vision. So, or add on, and the developed one may be more. So the how do you say that, transformed, so with available technology, AI, and so on. So everyone, so we had two presentations, and using the another 30 minutes, we'd like to have comments and questions. But before that, so the as original agenda. So do we have a counterpart of TA 6846? Actually, we know in Tajikistan there was a very important no roads until yesterday, and today is the first day after that. So although some of them mentioned that they will be here. So if we have an official of either ALRI or more, we'd like to listen first for their comments. So from ALRI, so counterparts, Mr. Nazirov, Mr. Bokidov, Ms. Saporova, Mr. Fazari, and from Minister of Finance, Mr. Hakimov. So if, one of them here, one of them here now, could you please voice about your observation and some comments and opinion? If not, so we'd like to proceed to open floors. Mr. Farquhar from ALRI, PIG, some of ALRI counterparts with you.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for ADB for such event. I am in another room, and our counterpart is in our office now. I had a meeting, so I was in another place now. And our counterpart from the ALRI is in our PIG office. And I think they will provide some comments or any other if they have. Thank you.
That's excellent. So could we have some comments either for so first presentation by Darabia and second one. So either is fine. So floor is yours. So our counterpart.
Спасибо, дорогие коллеги. Добрый день. Агентство мелиорации и ирригации по
Good afternoon, dear colleagues. I am representing Agency for Irrigation and Irrigation. And thank you very much for such useful, meaningful presentation. It was very good presentation from Mr. Nelia. We saw, and of course, we hope that when we will work on this project, we hope that we will be able to implement all these tasks successfully in Yavan. And we will have to consider all the recommendations and suggestions in order just to be able to collect proper information, to implement using of one software for accounting system. And of course, I also hope that we under the TA will be conducting trainings, and when we will start using of the program softwares in our computers. And we hope that from the Ministry of Finance and anti-monopoly agencies and other ministries and related agencies, we will have to collaborate and cooperate together and to move forward in order just to provide successful implementation. And of course, now we have started the billing system, cashless payment for the water using, and it is our first year, and we hope that as soon as we will be able successfully to introduce software programs and use it in our computers, and we will be able to try to supply sufficiently water to different farms, and we will be able to receive good payments from the different from farmers. And I would like again to express my sincere appreciation for good presentations and recommendations and suggestions. After a few days, the irrigation season will start, and we hope that we hope that we will be able to implement all our previous tasks which we implemented under the previous project. We will be able to implement under the ALRI office in Yavan, and ALRI office in Yavan will receive all necessary equipment in order just to implement all the tasks. So here we have our other colleagues from the accounting department. From the accounting department, we have accountant here, she's participating. Also, we have a head of the pumping station here participating. And we are sure that we will be able to provide all the necessary tasks and implement all the necessary tasks in order just to improve our services to our population. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Sorry, so my moderator myself missed to hear the English, but I appreciate your comment, and I hope so. Neka, do you have some response or?
No, it was mostly comment about questions. So, спасибо большое, что так хорошо поняли главный
Thank you
месседж.
very much, which you understood our main message, what we wanted to explain to you. Thank you very much. We will move to English now. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. Are there any official from the ALRI or Ministry of Finance? So now I'm ready to listen in English. Apology. So anytime, so we can come back, and actually I'd like to invite either our ADB, so the financial officer who is working closely with this TA consultant team. So is that so?
Thank you, Carlsen, and good afternoon, good day, colleagues. Nauruzistan Mubarak, I'm Korani Aziz, the ALRI. I have just a
Happy
short.
Nowruz, dear colleagues in ALRI.
I have a short presentation, not a presentation, but a short briefing in response to ALRI's NECA's presentation, and then I have a few questions from NECA. In the long term, there are a few developments which are very critical for ALRI. In particular to the concerns raised by NECA. One is the implementation of international public sector accounting standards across the government institution, which will also include ALRI. So hopefully from 2025, this international public sector accounting standards will be implemented across ALRI. One thing which is which will be very helpful in the financial accounting and reporting of ALRI. Second is the most critical one is the policy-based budgeting. So government Ministry of Finance is working to implement the policy-based budgeting across all government institutions. That is also very critical for ALRI because that will bring a lot of accountability and accountability particularly and responsibility also in the allocation of resources and how the resources are spent. And then in terms of the overall control environment of ALRI, under the ongoing project, we have commissioned a consultant who is working to prepare a financial management manual for ALRI that will also build an internal control framework. So these are the developments that hopefully within next 1 to 2 years will significantly enhance the financial management in ALRI. But having said that, NECA, I would like to ask you on your experience on tariff methodology, that what are usual issues and how it can be effectively implemented, and what will be the benefits if a tariff methodology or a tariff mechanism is being introduced and it is being followed. And the second question is, I have shortly discussed on the long-term developments in the ALRI. Can you specify any specific issues that need financial management issues that need an urgent attention from ALRI? Thank you.
Thank you, Azad. Thank you for your feedback and updating us about future plans from ADB side and for your questions. So first question was about my experience in tariff methodology. So yeah, as I come from Georgia, which is quite close country to Tajikistan. We also are located on the verge of Central Asia and Europe. So in my country, there is quite interesting setup of irrigation entity, and maybe this experience, I can share my experience, what I know, because I have been engaged in Georgian irrigation projects. There is government-owned irrigation company, which also has tariffs, which everybody believes are very low. I mean, irrigation company believes that it is very low. Farmers most probably believe that it is high. So, I mean, yeah, nobody is happy, right? And just recently, it was approved tariff methodology for irrigation about primary water provider, which is irrigation company itself, right? And so what I'm underlining, the tariff methodology was approved, but tariffs have not been approved. So approval of tariff has been prolonged for the next 2 years, and it was written in the legal law about irrigation. So this is what I'm trying to convey to ALRI and to Tajikistan stakeholders, that at least develop methodology, okay, how you calculate tariffs. And the second step will be, which will be quite a lengthy and not easy process, estimating tariffs and approving them. So point is that this irrigation water is delivered, irrigation company serves not only farmers, but let's say small hydropower plants. It provides some technical water. It provides water to fish farms, if I'm saying it correctly. So it is always a big argument to how these expenses should be allocated between different users, okay? And very important step is also identify. I know that there is no differentiation in our tariff methodology in tariffs for pumped irrigation and gravity irrigation. My personal belief is that it should be somehow differentiated. And what is also very important chunk of this whole story is that capital component is not entered into the tariff as of now. Because everybody knows that irrigation is a socially important service. So my government, I mean, my country is not ready to include the capital component, which is a huge in tariff methodology. It means that capital component is whole burden and whole weight is undertaken so far by the country. And another, apart from tariff methodology, it is important that at the same time and a bit earlier, it was approved water delivery rules. Why this matters? Because these water delivery rules identify scope and boundaries of the irrigation service company. Okay, it points the it shows the direct point where the responsibility of the irrigation company ends. So I hope I answered your question first. And the second question, remind me, it was what are the challenges, right? For ALRI?
Yes, like what are the challenges that need urgent attention from ALRI?
Okay, like I'm a financial person, so for me the first red flag, first to do, first move on, first big step is to please prepare audited and credible financial statements. We all know that a picture will not be lucrative, the picture will not be rosy, but at least this is what we have, and this is a perfect starting point. And please believe me, it will give you a lot of benefits, because no other new consultants will spend 2 years on getting some financial information. Because my observation right now is some new consultant, new firm is coming, and they start to collect that information from the scratch, process some Excel worksheets, and then unnecessary time is spent on the work which can be automated and easily done. So it is not value adding to do every job repetitively by hundreds of new consultants, okay? So this is my main takeaway recommendation as a financial person. And it is very also important to have a linkage and to see the same information in government budget, in investment plan, in our financial statements. Thank you. Thank you, that. Mm-hmm.
Is that
Thank
fine?
you, Neka. Yeah, thank you, Neka. The floor is yours. Thank you.
Thank you, Neka. So within 15 minutes more, we'd like to invite participants, any participants for a question to speakers, presenters. And when you speak, firstly, please tell us your name, designation, organization for our record, and to whom you want to ask. So floor is anybody? We have some.
Yes. May I also?
Yeah.
Since we are here collected, it will be very helpful for future projects to know about recent progress from ALRI and from Ministry of Finance, from engaged stakeholders. Please provide, it will be very helpful to us to know what have been recent progress in your activities. Thank you.
So RET, so we have now the Mr. Nashio, Nazipov or Mr. Parvo. Do you have some information to share?
And also another point, if you, what you know from your perspective, what are the greatest challenges in the further, achieving your objects? What are your outlooks? Thank you.
Thank you, Neka. As for the ALRI, you know that now is the new management of ALRI is on the way for the improve the sustainability of the huge investments that are doing by that are going to the irrigation sector. Now the ALRI's priority is the first priority for the new management is going step by step to achieve this sustainability. So as you may know, the first step is done for increasing the tariffs, and it's not going too fast, but a little bit we are moving on this way. But of course, we know that with only the ALRI we cannot achieve all our plans that we are planning. We have to have help from the MOF and from the anti-monopoly agency. But for the ALRI policy and for the ALRI strategy is going on a way to make the sustainability of the huge these investments. So I think that small we will move on the right way.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. It's good to know that you already embrace it, looks at one in isolation. Yeah, it's harder to achieve progress than all together.
Yes, that is what we are doing now. It's increasing the tariff, transferring to the cashless payment. It's going step by step, but of course it's not too fast, but we are moving, and I think that we are moving on the right way.
Thank you very much, Mr. Parvo. And we saw from Ministry of Finance, so Mr. Dilshad Hakim also during the busy schedule, so group join. Mr. Hakimov, so I understand, so that so you joined a bit time ago, not from the beginning. So if you have a chance to see the presentation, which I shared beforehand, so we'd like to hear your observation and also maybe so even different from the away from the presentation. If you have some idea how the operational maintenance sustainability will be included from your perspective, that would be very helpful. So Mr. Hakimov is the head of Agrarian Sector Budget Management Division of the Ministry of Finance, and who is really supportive to as a focal of Ministry of Finance for the TA 6846 or for which Mr. Luke Bereros is working. So, Mr. Hakimov, are you connected now? If so, possible, we'd like to hear your voice by your unmuting. Or so kindly stay and we will hear later. So, okay, so let us wait. So, are there anybody who would like to raise something or question? Okay. So can I ask call the Mr. Mohan Juna, Dr. Juna Dr. Juna, who worked together with NECA for the first TA. Do you have something to share? Maybe in terms of the like a comprehensive development irrigated agriculture to raise how to say strength of irrigation, which eventually leads to the strong irrigation sector. From your vast experience and working for this TA 670X. Dr. Juna, are you connected still?
Yes, Kazu, I'm here. Just want to make one comment on
sure.
On NECA's presentation. In terms of providing support to the water users at the field level, to the farmers, advanced technologies, introduction of water saving technologies and other, crop production, improving crop production, variety of things she talked about. But the results, the outcome of those interventions at the field level would not be significant until some interventions at the UA level in terms of improving the water supply, that is, improving the reliability and equity in water supply to the water users is improved by identifying what the constraints are for the current low performance of the irrigation system at that level. For example, the most common problem here, in Tajikistan and elsewhere, I think the not very much attention is paid to have adequate number of, adequate structural control, and secondly, the water distribution planning. I think those are the two major issues in terms of water distribution at the OA level or at the tertiary or on-farm canal levels. So that needs to be addressed in addition to all the other improvements that you suggested at the field level. Okay, that's the one that I wanted to mention. And I also would like to say that you talked about performance monitoring and setting the targets for these performance measures of water supply. I think that's a very good point. The thing is, the current performance measure that I have seen in Tajikistan on the irrigation systems is only one indicator, that is the water total amount of seasonal volume of water diverted to the irrigation scheme, and the actual amount of water diverted is compared with the planned amount of water diverted. If this is close, then their performance is 100%. The performance measure should be very appropriate. That's not really a good performance measure. What the good performance is, the water distribution to the water users. I think that should be, the performance measure. How well they have supplied the water to the individual farmers, in a reliable and equitable fashion. I think those should be kept as the performance measures in order to really make some difference in the overall improvement of the system. Okay. And then the other question that I have is for Luke. That's related to, he has talked about a variety of advanced technologies, more, latest technologies for monitoring and assessment of the existing condition in terms of even soil moisture or the condition assessment and, crop production and, variety of things. But then, even if we have all that information, in the absence of a good water distribution procedure, planning and implementation by skilled people, professionals, if it is not there, then, all this, investment into all these advanced technologies, which require usually more maintenance cost, in addition to being expensive. So we need to kind of moderate the technologies. We need to look at a little bit, not very high tech, but moderate that technology so that it matches with the level of technology that we are using to plan and distribute water. Okay, so that's my comment here.
Yeah, thank you, Mohan. I fully agree with your comment, of course, but that was not the intention to implement that in Jovan at this moment. We will, at the end of the project, we might recommend that these kind of technologies, if the ALRI moves ahead with more capacity, because like we said, the data can be there, but you need to be able to use it. So currently it's not in the plan of implementing these in Jovan.
Okay.
Can I come in as a, so not as a moderator, but the officer of this Bakshi River Basin project and this TA. So, yes, thank you very much, Dr. Juna. And so the response by the Mr. Belarus. So this TA is attached to the Bakshi River Basin project, which is executed by the ALRI PIG. So technology, how to say, you are completely correct. So we should not just modernize irrigation infrastructure. We should, how to say, human resources also, if I may say, modernize in thinking, modernize in the usage. So in total, the project be attached to the TA. So this modernization will be happening. So what I want to say is that really this parent project and so this attached TA closely linked. So of course this is some part is challenging. So, but in any way, so I really appreciate this, Dr. Juna having the really extensive experience. And I saw the chat's comments, so the leader of TA consulting firm, so Mr. Manfred Steidel also echo this important point. So ADB supported project TA. Let's support ALRI and PIG. So in this right direction. So we should not forget, of course, we are not forgetting this part. And because of the time, so are there any other matter of the important points from the participant? And again, so that if the Mr. So the Dilshad Hakimo from the Ministry of Finance, so I'd like to give floor to you. Otherwise, so we will close shortly. Okay. So actually, so originally our expected final speaker was Mr. Srinivasan Janardhanan, Director of Public Financial Management Division, because of his very urgent matter, so he was not able to join. So from as an officer and moderator, so I would like to really express appreciation to the two presenter. So Mr. Anelia and also the Mr. Belarus for really preparation for this presentation. We had a various discussion for this presentation, and our endeavor will continue. So especially for the second TA. Led by Manfred here. So and I hope we hope we will have another opportunity to share the progress of this TA 6846, which is built on the first TA, which is the NECA NECA presented, so TA 6708. So by thanking to you all, participants, I would like to close this seminar. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All.